Nevis' Premier Mark Brantley issued a statement regarding social media videos showing a Caucasian female attempting to have school children removed from a beach on Nevis. Information received pointed to the alleged tourists wanting the children to leave the beach, suggesting they had no right to be there. At the time, the young school children were practicing for an upcoming inter-school meet. According to the reports, the tourists confronted parents and guardians who were on the beach with the children. She also resorted to laying down on the beach to interrupt the children's practice. In one video, a Nevis resident could be seen trying to speak with her. Premier Brantley described the video of the interaction as, quote, disturbing, unquote, indicating that the incident was brought to the attention of the Nevis Island administration. The Nevis Premier wrote in his statement, quote, I wish to be clear that all beaches on the island of Nevis are public property and therefore free for the use and enjoyment of all members of the public. Those who visit our island or choose to live on our island are welcome and will experience no warmer or more genuine hospitality anywhere else in the world. I wish to be pellucid, however, that our generous hospitality must not be abused. The behavior exhibited on the videos is unacceptable and offensive and must be condemned unreservedly, end quote. According to the Premier, the Ministry of Education will further investigate the matter and submit its report. Glenn Bart reporting for SK Newsline.
The Eastern Caribbean Central Bank, ECCB, convened its 6th Growth and Resilience Dialogue with social partners and the OECS/ECCU community on April 6th. Under the theme, Climate Resilience, Securing the Future of Small Island Developing States. This year's dialogue features an exciting new element, the GRD Climate Resilience Data Challenge. The Data Challenge was conceived by the event planners and approved by the ECCB's governor in line with the need for a whole-of-society approach to ensure climate resilience. Governor of the ECCB, Mr. Timothy N. J. Anthony, said, the challenge provides a prime opportunity for crowdsourced solutions and apply digital technologies to address this wicked problem that is climate change. In the context of building out a digital economy, it have long advocated that we become producers, not mere consumers of knowledge and technology. I reiterate that call today. Indeed, we must be innovators, not blockers, doers, not talkers, leaders, not laggers. Addressing the participants from academia, the private and public sectors, as well as civil and political society, the governor outlined 3 key messages in his remarks.
1. The Caribbean is among the lowest emitters of carbon, but among the hardest hit. 2. The Caribbean is the most tourist-dependent region in the world. And as most of you appreciate, most of our assets, or tourism assets, are along our coasts. So you can understand the vulnerability of that sector to climate risk. And 3, the frequency and ferocity of storms have increased. Evidence has indicated that there's not just increased frequency of hurricanes, but that since 2001, we've had 17 of the warmest years on record since 2001.
Launched in late January, the GRD Climate Resilience Data Challenge put out a call for university students and private sector practitioners in the field of data science and artificial intelligence to design and submit applications that would provide the OECS/ECCU community with data-driven insights to tackle real-world climate problems. I am Jacinta Teixeira for SKN Newsline.
The SKN Newsline website now offers you more news. Log on to www.sknnewsline.com for local, regional, and international news. You can also watch the latest newscast and keep abreast with news in sports, all from sknnewsline.com. That's www.sknnewsline.com. News at your fingertips. Nestled between evergreen mountains and the Caribbean Sea on the island of St. Kitts is the Millhouse Guest House and Convention Center. With breathtaking views, a rugged, beautiful shoreline, and immaculate manicured gardens make this the perfect location for your holiday, event, or wedding. With a large convention center, apartments with balconies providing stunning views, and a secluded cottage for larger family groups or honeymooning couples looking for some privacy. We have something for everyone. Book your stay at www.millhouseskn.com or visit our Facebook page, the Millhouse Guest House and Convention Center, an oasis of tranquility.
On Tuesday, Tourism Minister Lindsay Grant welcomed the inaugural call of the luxurious Viking Octantis of the world-winning Viking Ocean Cruises. The vessel anchored at South Friars Bay. Viking Ocean Cruises is one of the largest luxury cruise lines in the world and was voted #1 ocean line in Condé Nast Traveler's 2021 Reader's Choice Awards. Viking Ocean Cruises came to St. Kitts for the first time in the 2016-2017 season with the Viking Sea. Since then, the Viking Sky, Viking Star, Viking Sun, and Viking Orion have visited St. Kitts. Minister Grant said it was indeed a pleasure to welcome Viking Octantis, the 6th ship from Viking Cruises to visit the destination, and the 11th inaugural call of the 2021-2022 cruise season. The visit of the Viking Octantis speaks to the strength of our brand and our reputation as a quintessential Caribbean destination, Minister Grant said. We want to thank Viking Ocean Cruises for their valued partnership and for including St. Kitts on the itinerary of the Viking Octantis. We look forward to welcoming more of their cruise vessels to the destination. The Viking Octantis was specially designed to be upscale and to take travelers to the most off-the-beaten paths of the world. The vessel has its own landing craft on board to bring people ashore to remote locations, as well as kayaks and even a submarine for exploring. Another feature is the top of the ship glass-walled Explorer Lounge, offering stunning views of passing scenery. Also, the most notable is the hangar, an enclosed marina that allows passengers to transfer to 12-seat excursion crafts while still in the protected interior of the ship. It's a first for an expedition cruise ship. This is St. Kitts' 11th inaugural call since the official start of the cruise season on 1st November 2021. Passengers of the Viking Octantis had their choice of distinctive excursions, including exploring the historical Brimstone Hill Fortress and National Park, Carabel Batik, where the hot wax method of making batik cloth is still used, or the St. Kitts Scenic Railway, the first scenic railway in the Caribbean.
Businesswomen from St. James's Parish, Nevis, were presented awards at the first St. James's Women of Entrepreneurial Excellence Awards. The event was hosted by NIA Minister Hazel Brandy Williams, with Ms. Latoya Jeffers, a gender equality advocate, as the event's first featured speaker. Ms. Jeffers is quoted as saying, "We have to empower women to work. This is because women's economic empowerment increases economic diversity, productivity, and income equality, resulting in other positive developments." End quote. At the 7th April Awards ceremony held at Indian Summer Restaurant, Kates Bay, Jeffers said more women in business would help build a more sustainable economy on Nevis. 12 businesswomen from hairstylists, restaurateurs, bakers, and estheticians were those receiving entrepreneurial awards. Glenn Bart reporting for SKN Newsline.
Online radio has never been this great. It's Voice of the Caribbean Radio at voiceofthecaribbean.net. Tune into Voice of the Caribbean Radio for great Caribbean programs, news, entertainment, sports, and current affairs. Wake up each morning and be inspired with One Day at a Time with Kim Huey. Stay abreast with news across the Caribbean and internationally with the Caribbean News Hour, and be entertained with shows like Reggaeville, Caribbean Classics, and Jive Music Show. Visit our website, download our Android mobile app, or listen us on TuneIn Radio. There is so much more on Voice of the Caribbean Radio, reaching the Caribbean and beyond. Check website or app for program schedule.
Are you ready to create high-performing TV commercials?
Ready.
Ready. Ready.
Create and tell compelling stories. Reach your target audience. And build brand awareness. Our strategies and execution will provide for your desired outcome and clearly represent your brand. Visit us at www.madebyopen.com and get started on your creative video commercial today. Lights, camera, Open Interactive.
Auto Plus Car Wash, located on the College Street Gut, Bastille, St. Kitts. Bring your car to Auto Plus Car Wash to remove water stains, wiper marks. Get your doors, roof panel cleaned, seat floor mats, buffing, headlights, and engine wash. You get quality service at the best price at Auto Plus Car Wash. They really care for your car. Call 765-5140 or visit them on the College Street Gut, Bastille, St. Kitts. Auto Plus Car Wash, where the service is number one.
Government's installation of an interim management committee to oversee the operations of Linden Utility Services Co-op Society Limited has resulted in a tit-for-tat between Vice President Barra Jagdeo and leader of the People's National Congress Reform, Aubrey Norton. During a meeting with workers of the Linden Utility Services Co-op Society Limited Friday last, Norton said the attempt by the PPPC to put an IMC in place is because they want a management committee they can control, and they will orchestrate it in such a way that they will remove the subsidies which will cause the electricity in Region 10 to go up. These utterances made by Norton was publicly rejected by Jagdeo, who reassured residents of Linden Region 10 that the People's Progressive Party civic government has no intention to remove their electricity subsidy. He outlined in a statement published on Facebook on Saturday that by virtue of Norton's utterances, he embarked on his familiar acts of deception and desperation. Jagdeo accused Norton of peddling lies that the PPPC government plans to remove the electricity subsidy from Region 10, while emphasizing that this is totally untrue as the government has no such plans. The vice president urged Guyanese not to fall prey to Norton's attempt to mislead and cause panic. Norton, during a virtual address, sought to clarify what he said by highlighting that his party foresees the removal of electricity subsidies as a course of action the PPPC may take in taking full control of the co-op society.
Let me remind Barra Jagdeo what I said. I said, this is the first act in the attempt to dominate and control. And that the first step is to take over the society. And we anticipate the next step will be to remove the subsidy. And I'm saying this based on the fact that Edgil bemoaned in the parliament the money spent on electricity.
Adamant that the Ali-led government has no good intention for the people of Linden, which is heavily populated by supporters of the opposition, the PNC leader noted that the government jumped the gun in total disregard of the Co-op Act by arbitrarily installing the interim management committee.
The Co-op Act at Article 37(1) says the commissioner may, of his own motion, and shall, on the application of a majority of the committee, or of no less than 1/3 of the members of a registered society hold an inquiry or direct same to hold an inquiry into the constitution, working, and financial conditions of a registered society. So the first thing that needs to be noted is that there should have been an inquiry.
He accused the government of being politically inspired by blatantly retaining one of its associates to be part of the said committee.
On the committee that exists, there is a PPP operative there by the name of Courtney Handy. He served all the years with the Co-op Society. And now you said you were going to move them because the place isn't being run properly, but you remove all the others except the one PPP person. The battle has just begun.
Norton maintains that should the government continue to overlook the law, the opposition will fight to ensure that the committee will not be controlled by the government. The Ministry of Labor recently dissolved the board and installed an interim management committee to oversee the affairs of the cooperative. In a letter to the board, Chief Cooperative Development Officer Debbie Prasad informed the directors that as a result of their incompetence, an IMC will manage the affairs of the co-op. The Ministry of Labor in a press release said that a reason behind establishing an interim management committee is to ensure accountability and transparency of the co-op. The ministry further disclosed that the Cooperative Society Act, Chapter 8801, empowers the Chief Cooperative Development Officer to take over any cooperative or friendly societies or credit union that, in the opinion of the officer, is mismanaged or not transparent. Tamika Rodney reporting for the HGP Nightly News.
An adjustment to fuel prices came into effect on Monday, 11th April 2022. As a result, the cost of gasoline and diesel at the pumps increased from $14.95 to $15.95 per gallon. For cooking gas, the 20-pound cylinder increased from $45.46 to $49.81. The 22-pound cylinder increased from $49.01 to $43.79. And the 100-pound cylinder rose from $266.43 to $309.89. Prime Minister Philip J. Pierre has expressed concern about the impact of rising fuel prices amid the latest hike in the cost of gasoline, diesel, and LPG locally.
As you know, we do not control the price of fuel. We never had, and we never will. The price of fuel is going up, but in every country in the world. In St. Lucia, the price went up by $1 from today, and that is because the government is concerned that if we collect the revenue that we projected to collect from fuel prices, the price of fuel will have been about $19.95. Right now, at the current price of fuel, the government revenue is about 80 cents, an average of 80 cents, which means even at the 250, we are subsidizing oil, basically, in terms of the revenue by 80 cents minus 250, which is 170, if my arithmetic is correct. And if we had to price the oil at the $4 revenue that was projected by the last government, we're actually losing $3.20 on revenue. So what's happening? Whereas I understand and I feel very concerned about the effect of the price of fuel, it really is inevitable, and the government is taking a really hit on revenue because we are insisting that we keep the price at a level that people will complain, and I expect people to complain, and they have a right to complain because it's affecting their pocketbooks. But the fact is, we are actually losing revenue to ensure that the price doesn't go to any level that becomes, like in Barbados, it's actually $20 a gallon.
Prime Minister Pierre says measures have been put in place to mitigate against adverse effects of the rising cost of fuel.
Well, we are actually subsidizing gas 20 points in of LPG and by over $22. So measures are in place. Measures are in place. The measures are in place in that we are losing revenue on gas, on fuel sales, and actually subsidizing LPG by $20 to ensure that the impact the full force of the impact is not felt by the consumer.
Prime Minister Pierre urges St. Lucians to be conservative in fuel consumption. The public is informed that the next adjustment to the retail price of fuel products will be on Monday, May 2nd, 2022. For the DBS News World, I am Jason Darius.
We're following breaking news where multiple people were shot at a New York City subway station. It all happened during morning rush hour at the 36th Street subway station in Brooklyn this morning. Police and firefighters arrived to find multiple people injured as well as undetonated explosive devices. Now, 2 schools in the area are being told to shelter in place while police search for a suspect. NBC News correspondent Vaughn Hilliard joins us now from Brooklyn. Well, in the studio. Vaughn, what do we know at this point? What is law enforcement saying about that search for a suspect?
Right, Morgan, we've been following this closely, and several of our colleagues are just now making it here to the site. I mean, this is a big perimeter that has been set up here, in large part because we still do not know where this suspect is at this time. And for those who are not familiar with New York, these boroughs, Brooklyn, Manhattan, Queens, are very interconnected, and we're talking about a clearly planned event in which at least one individual, authorities believe here at this time, was inside of a subway that was making its way into this Brooklyn stop when apparently detonated some sort of a smoking device, a smoke grenade, smoke bomb, which filled at least one subway car. That is when the individual is believed to have then fired multiple shots. We now know that there are at least 13 injured, 5 individuals who were shot, 2 who were in serious condition. And we are just beginning to get some of these videos that have been posted on social media platforms into our system, and we are working our way through them right now. But I can tell you that what these videos are so far showing is a situation in which this subway vehicle pulled into the station, and that is when you see smoke begin to billow out of this subway vehicle, and multiple individuals hobbling out. The videos are tough to watch, and that is why we are working our way through them right now, because you see individuals with gunshot wounds, particularly in the lower half of their bodies. There is blood. There are individuals that are falling onto the subway platform. And that is when, though, at the same time, it's not clear where this suspect is. We believe this individual from authorities to be anywhere from 5'5" to 5'7", a black male who may have been wearing an orange-like vest, may have had a gas mask, either wearing it or in his hands at the time. But you do not see him pictured in any of the videos that we have seen here at this time. But again, that is when the scene was chaotic and individuals trying to help out one another. But importantly, there's still an individual who is believed to be on the loose. Again, this is in the heart of Brooklyn, a very diverse residential and business part of Brooklyn here. And a cause for serious concern. And of course, no confirmed fatalities at this time here, but still several serious injuries. Morgan?
Vaughn, let's be clear. This is any New Yorker's worst nightmare. I mean, people use the subway system. For those who aren't familiar with New York, it is, if not a main mode of transportation. You can usually get anywhere in the city, usually a little bit faster via subway than even by car. So what's happening right now? I mean, are there people who are still stuck in the tunnels as a result of this?
We know that several subway stations are closed. This was the NDR trains. This was specifically an N train that came in. We know that there are a couple Manhattan subway stops that are closed as well here. But you're absolutely right. I think it's clear, right, during the pandemic, New York City did quiet down to a certain extent, but New York is very much back here. This was at around 8:30 a.m. at the height of rush hour here. Again, there are schools in this area. There are businesses, residential areas around this neighborhood here. This was at peak hours, and you see from this video here a large perimeter that has been set up in large part, again, just because of the threat that continues to be posed here to the neighborhood at large, not just in Brooklyn, Morgan. But again, it is not difficult to get from Queens to Manhattan up to the Bronx from this part of Brooklyn here. And that is why there's so many law enforcement personnel and why this investigation is so serious.
Playing their first home game this season, the Lady Jags had solid support in the stands, but they nor the visiting Nicaraguans could manage a goal after 90 minutes of high-intensity action. The goalless stalemate was as a result of the sharp and precise work of goalkeepers Shante Sandiford of Guyana and her Nicaraguan counterpart Betania Alberto. They were both kept engaged throughout the crucial encounter as the teams tried desperately to break the deadlock. Head coach Dr. Ivan Joseph, while disappointed with the result, was proud of the efforts of the Lady Jags.
Hats off to a very talented Nicaragua team. They really controlled pieces of that game. Today is the way football goes. We were a little unlucky. We still had a clean sheet. We had a big save from our keeper. We just didn't generate enough opportunities, and we just weren't as desperate and as hungry. Sometimes you just need a little bit of extra, just a little spark. You could see it a little bit in the second half. It came at times, and it couldn't be sustained. And, it's a disappointing result for us, but I'm still proud of our effort.
Dr. Joseph lauded keeper Sandiford, who ensured Guyana's last line of defense was yet again well protected.
Disappointing. What are some of the positives you can take from this?
We got a great keeper. We've found some new talent that's come together. The future's bright for this program. We're not going to advance to the next round, most likely. It's going to take some, there's still some hope, but it's going to take a miracle from Dominica for us to happen. But, one game at a time, and, I'm glad the team had a chance to come together, and I felt like we were better than we were when we started.
To date, Guyana has not conceded a goal in the tournament, having beaten Dominica 4-0 and the Turks and Caicos 7-0.
We had a little bit of a tough time finding our feet in the first half. We were playing a little bit more direct for a little bit longer than we may have wanted to. So at halftime, the talk was that we need to try to play Lady Jags football, which is put it on the ground and try to find the spaces that we know we want to find. As for me, we were very organized in defense, and it made it very easy for me to be in the right place. So I think we had a really good team effort tonight. We didn't get the win that we wanted, but I'm still very proud of the effort, and we just learned from this and move forward.
You came away with a clean sheet tonight. What was key for you personally?
Just making sure I stayed focused, especially on this surface. It's very unpredictable. Staying in the game, even though I didn't really have much to do, just staying in the game in between those plays and staying focused and communicating with my team and making sure that we're always, switched on at all times.
The drawn result has made progression from the group a bit dicey for Guyana, as they are now faced with a must-win situation against hosts Trinidad and Tobago on Tuesday. It will be a top-of-the-table clash after Trinidad and Tobago rose to the top with a 30-0 whipping of the Turks and Caicos at the weekend. The Twin Islanders, unbeaten in all 3 games, are on 9 points, followed by Guyana with 7 points. Guyana would need a win, which is 3 points, to overtake the Trinis. The team that tops the group will advance to the next stage of the qualifiers, which also serve as a gateway to the Paris 2024 Olympic Games. Reporting for Newsroom, I am Avinash Ramzan.
Welcome to the SKN Newsline Weather Report. I am Janil Boone. Here is a look at the 4-day forecast for St. Kitts and Nevis. For a more detailed weather report, visit our website at www.sknnewsline.com.